Hello, and welcome to episode number 14 of the Blue Water Running Podcast. I'm your host, Maren, and this podcast features and celebrates the accomplishments of high school and collegiate cross-country and track and field athletes from the Blue Water area of Michigan. In this episode, we will be talking with Thomas Westphal, a now graduated senior from New Baltimore Anchor Bay High School. The long list of accolades Thomas has accrued during his high school career is quite significant. Division I cross-country state runner-up in the 1600, state champ in the 3200, just recently on June 1st, multiple all-state finishes and regional, league, and county titles in cross-country and track, invitational meet and school records, sub-15-minute 5K times, and more. This past fall, Thomas won the Footlocker Midwest Regional at the University of Wisconsin-Parkside on November 25th in 14 minutes, 59.2 seconds, earning a trip to the Footlocker Cross Country National Championships on December 9th in San Diego, California, where he had the opportunity to toe the line with some of the best high school runners in the country. He has personal bests of 51.99 in the 400, 151 in the 800, 406 in the 1600, and 855 in the 3200, which he ran all alone at the Davison Twilight Invitational, lapping most of the field and setting the meet and facility record. Thomas is also committed to an NCAA D1 program at Michigan State University to continue running at the collegiate level. These amazing achievements are in stark contrast to his debut as a runner. At his very first cross-country meet as a freshman, Thomas finished in 22 minutes and 23 seconds. Thomas has an amazing story of overcoming injuries and obstacles to chase dreams with determination, hard work, guts, and grit, and become the most successful runner in Anchor Bay history and one of the best in the state. Welcome to the Blue Water Running Podcast, episode number 14, Thomas Westphal.
How's it going? Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Well, I'm excited that you're here today because we're going to kick off this podcast with some pretty exciting recollections and discussion, and that is your state title. You won the 3,200 meter Division I state meet. So talk to us about what that race was like, maybe some of your thoughts or emotions, and how it felt to stand atop the podium and be crowned a state champion.
Yeah, for sure. So, going in, especially after the 1600, I was a little upset that I didn't win the 1600, but I thought the 3200 was a really good opportunity to come home with the win, hopefully. And I was lucky enough to pull it off. Felt really good, obviously. I've been runner-up about 4 times if you include indoor. So, it definitely it felt fantastic for sure.
Well, you were state champ in the 3,200, but you did have an incredible 1,600 meter run.
Yeah.
I mean, you were runner up in your personal best, and it's to your future teammate, Seth Norder, correct?
Yes. So,
Yeah.
I mean, if I had to lose to anybody, it would be a great thing that was him. I mean, he's one of the best in the country. I think he's actually racing Brooks PR. I think I think it's Wednesday or it's this week sometime. I forget, but I think he's one of the best in the nation. And to lose to a guy like that, it's okay. But obviously I want to win still. But I mean, he's very good, and he carried me to a PR that last lap. He was pushing me, so I'm very thankful that I'm able to race him pretty consistently throughout the year.
Right. I know you guys went 1-2 at the cross country state meet. So you've had to see a lot of him. Do you think he'll go sub 4?
That's a good question. I don't know. I think there's a chance. I think it's definitely in the cards. I think he is in shape to do it. He just has to have a perfect day. I think 359 is in the books for sure. I mean, he ran 404 closing in the 157. So, I mean, he's got the strength to do it. And he, at the state meet, he ran a 150 split in his 4x800 relay before running that 403.
Right. I had read that. That's pretty impressive.
So, which is like, I was even more shocked when I was running against him. I'm like, okay, maybe he's a little tired because he hasn't passed me yet. And then he just whips out like a 58 last lap. I'm like, all right. So
Yeah,
I'm
and
like,
you have a pretty significant kick yourself. So
yeah, yeah. At that point, when you're going that fast, it's just like strength. I mean, it's just you just need to have so much strength to be able to close in 58, and you need a lot of strength to break four. So I think he'll run sub 402 for sure. I think if he has a good day, but I think if everything goes right, I think you're gonna have to watch out for sub four for sure.
right. Well, are you looking forward to running with him in the fall versus competing against him? I mean, he'll be your teammate.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, it's gonna be fantastic. It's gonna be I mean, just training with not just Seth, but just like the whole class in general is just gonna be great. I mean, when you have just people every day, just like either just kicking your butt or just like putting you up to that like higher standard of like just the things like outside running, like even like just like sleep, nutrition, etc. Just all that. When you're just being held to that like higher standard, it just brings everyone else like up just like all together. So it's gonna be great. I mean, all the guys are great too, including Seth. So I mean, um, I'm excited to just spend the next 4 or 5 years with them as just hanging out with them too. They're great people, so it's gonna be fun for sure. I'm pumped.
Awesome. Well, iron sharpens iron. So good
Hmm.
teammates
That's a good
make
term to
you
use.
better.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, you have a very fast 800. I mean, you've run 151. You ran that at the Macomb County Championships, and I think you set the Macomb County record there, correct?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, it was 153 prior, I think.
Okay. Yeah. So a pretty significant record breaking. You won your
Hmm.
regional. You were ranked very highly in the state in the 800. Did you choose to scratch the 800 so that you could focus on the 1600 and the 3200?
Yes. Well, it was really back and forth. I really didn't actually know 100% what I was racing until the day of. Like my mind changed probably like 10 times that week building up to it. Um, at one point I was really actually considering running the 800. I think I honestly right back back a week ago, I think I was actually like pretty close to breaking 150 shape. Like I'd never really been pushed like that in an 800 to like the line. I think the last time I got pushed was counties whenever it was Trent McFarland, maybe. Um, my sophomore year. So, but yeah, I mean, at the state meet, I chose to scratch the 800. I mean, doing the triple is one thing, and I wasn't about to do 800 2 mile anyways because it's just too close together. So I
Right.
figured just do 16, see how that feels. If I win, that'd be really cool. I might call it there. But then I didn't win, so I was just like, all right, well, I'll see how I feel. I mean, I felt horrible after the 16th. So I'm like, oh, I don't feel like running, but I would just give it time. So the 800 was just too soon. I just wanted to scratch that. I figure my chances were better in the 2 mile maybe.
Right.
And it ended up working out. Got the state title. So
Yeah, it was a good
yeah,
game plan.
yeah, for sure. It was a great day. Probably my best like that might be like my best day performance, I think, probably ever. I mean, 406, 907, like just the time wasn't spectacular for the 2 mile, but it's just the state championship as well as like the 406, like 2 hours earlier. That was probably one of like my best days in running, probably ever. So great day.
Yeah, a state title is a state title. No matter the time,
Hmm.
you still win.
Yes.
So you gotta
Yeah, for
pat
sure.
yourself on the back for that. Well,
Yeah.
when the season first began, what were your big goals? I mean, was winning the state title something that you had kind of set as a goal to
Hmm.
achieve, or were there other things also that you were hoping to accomplish?
Yeah. I pretty much achieved everything. I wanted to break 150. Even though that was a lot of people thought that was bold to say when my PR was 155. I did split 150 last year, so a lot of people don't know that. So that's why it was in the cards to maybe break 150. But I didn't get to do that. But I ran 151, which is still great. I and then the mile, I wanted to go sub 408. I did that. In the 1600, I wanted to break 408. I think 406 is pretty much where I was at. Maybe I could have ran 405, maybe, but the cards played a little more right. But So I did what I wanted to do in that. The 2 mile, I could have ran maybe a little bit faster, I think. When I ran 8:55, I mean, it was solo. So
Yep, I was there. I
it was,
remember.
so it was just like, I, it was just, I don't know. Maybe if I went to New Balance, maybe I could have PR'd in the 2 mile. But at that point, it was like 8:55 is still great. I think I could have maybe ran 8:45, 8:50 maybe. But I'm really happy with my senior season, especially the last 6 weeks. I had 6 PRs in a row, 6 weeks in a row. So that's a very good way to go out.
Yeah, you ran really good times when it mattered most and good
hmm
placements and yeah, lots of success at the end. You definitely want it that way versus, mid-season and then kind of fade out. So, yeah.
Yeah, that was the big plan kind of going in is to back in uh back in the early part of the year, I wanted to actually quadruple at the at regionals or triple at least. Like I wanted to help my team win a regional title. Um, so I wanted to kind of lay it back on indoor, not do as much, and just kind of when it outdoor, I'd be like super fresh, so I could race a lot. So that was kind of the plan to just kind of like hammer like outdoor, but uh, so I'm really it all worked out. So I was really eager to race indoor, but I knew long term it was probably better. So I was feeling a little more fresh at the state meet. So
Right. Well, it definitely worked out. So congratulations, because that's awesome.
thank you.
Now, most runners know you as a very successful, accomplished
hmm
athlete. If they're not from your area of the state or they haven't really followed your story from beginning to end, they may not know that your running career doesn't follow the same trajectory as a lot of other superstars who are racing incredible times very early right away. So tell us a little bit about your first year running and how that evolved into what you have accomplished.
Do you want me to talk about like my sixth grade, seventh grade, or like ninth grade?
It's up to you. You can tell us whatever you'd like. I guess the point of view I'm looking at it from is there are some freshmen who come out of middle
hmm
school, very accomplished, already racing incredibly fast times. That wasn't your story, and you became one of the state's best with a lot of grit and hard work. And I think that that is such an inspiring story. So
hmm
that's kind of what I'm hoping you'll touch on and explain how that all came to be.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, back in middle school, I was like I'd say as an average runner, and then I kind of stayed the same throughout middle school, and then freshman year especially, I was nothing like too special. I broke 20 once. I was 1944. Won the JV Mac Red championships actually. One of my biggest accomplishments freshman year. I was really proud of that at the time. Um, my friends actually bet me I wouldn't win that race, and I did. So prove them wrong. That was fun. That was fun. Um, Zach Gruber still has to bust his hair, and he never did. Fun fact.
Oh,
Um,
well, you heard it here. It's been recorded. So,
yeah, so yeah, freshman year, part of the reason why I wasn't, running like 420 as a freshman, part of it was I didn't train that much and I was a little overweight as well as I was still kind of growing. So I was dealing with a lot of growing pains and stuff. And yeah, and then that didn't really change until I went to physical therapy and they fixed out all the stuff that was kind of like wrong with like my growing stuff and everything. I basically just got like taller and bigger, and my muscles just weren't supporting my body like at all. So once I lost the weight and had the like the basically like the uh muscle mass to support me, because like when I mean like I couldn't like I mean, do you know like what leg extensions are? Like when you're just like sitting down, you're extending your leg up. Like I
yes,
couldn't do more
yes.
of like I can do more than like five of them without me feeling like lactic in my legs. Like, it was really bad. But yeah, so once I fixed that, I started playing soccer more and I started losing a lot of weight. I ended up losing like 30 pounds over the summer, going into my sophomore year. And I was also training probably like 3 miles a day, which is a lot more than I've ever done. So probably 20, 30 mile weeks with well, like 15, 30 mile weeks probably with including soccer. I ended up running 17:26 by the end of the season, which was like huge because that's like 2.5 minutes off last year.
Right.
And then indoor, I'm like, well, this is like getting pretty fun now. I mean, it's just like going in every race trying to PR. And I was running like pain free, which was like huge. Like it was such a different experience. Like it was so much more fun. So wanted to take it a little more seriously. All my friends were doing indoor, wanted to do it as well. So I after my cross country, I took 2 weeks off and started grinding 30, 40 mile weeks, which is more than I did in the cross country. And I think I got up to like 42, 43 eventually, but like I did that the whole winter. And just that consistency, I just kept getting better. I went 450 my first meet, and then I went 439, 431, 424, 421 in the indoor season. And then in June, I ran 412. And I ended up with 156, 412, and 919, which was incredible. Like I never thought I'd be running that a year later after I ran 520 in the mile. So it was great for sure. Like that was
Yeah.
so then from there it just kind of and I increased it like a little bit every year. I'm not doing crazy mileage right now, but I'm just increased it like a little bit every year, and it kind of just went from there. I mean, that's kind of like the origin kind of story of me.
Yeah, it's a great story. It's very inspiring because obviously you have talent, but you also put a
Mhm.
ton of work into getting better. And so talent plus hard work, well, that's pretty much unstoppable. So I think for
Mhm.
runners who may not have recognized their potential or there's something holding them back, that's a really good
Mhm.
story because to see someone be very successful after starting out not exactly that way, it's a good Cinderella story, so to say.
Mhm. Yeah, for sure. You should never count yourself out as a freshman, no matter what time you are, because
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing is that you don't know how good you're going to be. So you never should like say anything's impossible. Like, I mean, the worst thing that happens if you don't get it. But if you do believe that it is possible, it's a lot easier to achieve something. So that's what I always go off of. If you're a freshman running 17 minutes, like just train consistency, and then you don't know how good you're going to get. So why not, have those high goals for sure.
Yes, I agree. That's great advice. And even after high school, maybe you were, doing fine in high school. You could get even better in college. You just gotta
I hope so.
keep
Yeah,
trying.
I really do hope so for me specifically. I mean, I think right now I'm quite on the lower end of mileage, I would say still. I think I averaged this season for like this year, I think I've averaged like 42, 43 miles a week. So I got up to like 50. I had a couple weeks at like 50-ish, and then I was mostly like 40 to like 45 for like the whole like outdoor track season. So I think there's a lot of upside in college for sure. I think when I'm at like 60 miles a week, maybe 70 miles a week, maybe 80 miles a week eventually, like I think there's a lot of room to grow for sure. So sky's the limit right now. So
Yeah, lots of unknowns that are exciting to find out.
yeah, for sure.
Do you have a training plan that your MSU coaches give you for the summer, or are you just kind of operating on past experience?
No, I'm getting a plan to. Right now I'm still on off time, but I'm supposed
Yes,
to
yes.
talk to Aaron Semino soon.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm supposed to be getting a plan soon. It's so that should be pretty much for till August, and then we have like a team camp. We move in and everything, but we have a
Hmm.
team camp up in like Lake Michigan area. So
Awesome.
um,
That'll be fun.
that should be fun. I think the track team's also going too, so that should be fun. Just meeting everyone for sure.
Right, right.
So should be an exciting summer for sure.
Yeah.
Um,
And you guys race a 10K, correct?
I talking about for like regular. Well, we do 8K
Okay, I
for
wasn't sure
regular,
if you
and
did 8K or 10, and 10K is the championship.
10K is regional meet
Oh,
to
okay.
like the NCAA qualifiers, and then 10K is like the NCAA meet. But everything
Okay.
else is 8Ks and Sometimes, especially the like redshirted freshmen. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be redshirted yet. We haven't really talked about that yet, but um, sometimes we get thrown in like 5Ks maybe. Like I think a lot of the freshman guys did a 5K up in Shepherd, Michigan,
Hmm.
against they versus like some Central Michigan guys, just kind of just to get some racing under their belt, close to Lansing. So
Right.
at some time, but it's 8K is like the standard. Then it's 10K qualifier championship. So
Okay. Okay. That's what I was curious on. I wasn't sure if you did 10K the whole season or if it kind of varied between. So,
it's gonna be tough when you're like 5K and you're like you're halfway done. I'm like, oh no,
yeah,
I
it's a
don't know.
big distance adjustment for sure. I think it's
Yeah,
more mental than physical. I mean, there's definitely a lot of
I
physical
agree.
factor to it, but yeah, getting yourself accustomed to racing twice as far. Yep.
Yeah,
That's a big
it's
jump.
should be fun. Should be a fun time.
Yeah. Well, what for you are really important elements? It differs from runner to runner. So when we talk about what makes you successful, do you find that it's something specific in your training? Is it your nutrition? Is it your sleep? Is it a combination? What are your secret weapons?
I'd say the biggest thing is the consistent training for sure. I would say, yeah, I would say the consistent like yeah, just consistent training in general. But there's little things that obviously help, like sleep, nutrition, especially the like day leading up to or the days leading up, like sleep is very important. Obviously, but I think specifically nutrition, it doesn't really I don't take nutrition that seriously. I just make sure I'm eating enough, of course. Nutrition, uh I think it matters more when you're at higher mileage because you just need to make sure you're eating more nutritious foods to get all like the things you need. But when you're like not when you're not training 80 miles a week, I think you can get away with like eating like junk food and everything. Like I think you just get away with it. But yeah, I'd say the main things are just training and sleep for me. Like
Right.
I take sleep pretty easy. I try to get 8 hours every night and training. I try to just consistently just hit stack weeks. That's the key to running. Just stacking weeks and staying healthy. Just being consistent. So,
Yep. Calories are good, despite what
absolutely.
they are. I mean,
Calories are
obviously,
calories are fuel.
yeah, nobody wants to be eating just Doritos and Twinkies all the time, but you know,
Of course, of course,
sweets
of
and
course,
junk are
of
definitely part
course.
of the reward of being a
But,
runner.
but it's okay. It's okay to enjoy. It's okay to enjoy it though.
Exactly.
It's okay to enjoy it.
Exactly.
It's okay that it's
100%.
all in moderation. It's all in
100%.
moderation.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a nutritionist for MSU? Do they do that as part of your athletic program? Do you
I
know?
believe I believe so. I haven't looked into it too much, but I believe we do. I remember when I was on my visit there, they were talking about it. They said they had this. I forget his name. He said it once. And I just forgot.
Yeah. Well,
But
I was guessing
um,
at that level, you probably did.
yeah, it's yeah. So I think he just I don't know. I don't know much about it. I only talked about it with Seminole, I think like once maybe, and it was a
Yeah.
long time ago.
Yeah. Well,
So
you
I
got
don't
lots
know
of time to
much, but
figure things out. No, no
yeah,
worries.
I'm excited though. I'm excited
Yeah.
though. I mean, it just having a guy to go to, just to be
Right.
like, what do I do? And then he's just like, this, eat this.
Right.
I'm like,
Right.
all right.
Well,
So it
I
should
think
be
in
great.
most programs, a lot of eating issues have come from the opposite side. It's not that they're eating the wrong things, it's they're not eating enough. And
Absolutely.
yeah, like you said, everything in moderation, but you have to get calories. So very important
Yeah, it's
because
the
otherwise you run
most
into big
important
problems.
most important thing in running for sure.
Yes,
I would say
yes.
it's just eating enough.
Yep. I think there's a lot of disordered eating in running because people
hmm
think lighter is better. And while, of course, you don't want to be overweight, you also don't want to be
hmm
underweight and unhealthy. And
Yeah, of
that'll catch up with you eventually.
course. Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, you just yeah, for sure.
Well, switching gears a little bit, what is your favorite track event out of all the ones that you've run this year? What would you say is your top choice?
I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of a hater in the beginning of the year. Like I didn't want to run it in the beginning of the year. Partly because I don't know, I felt like I didn't really do much like speed work. I mostly was doing like tempo stuff. So I feel like I wasn't like that fast, but 4x4s are hype for where it's at. I love 4x4s. I liked them more as the season went on. Um, so I don't know. I think 4x4s are great. Um, which is probably not something you would expect coming from a distance kid, but I think they're hype.
Well, my son did the same events you did in high school, and he loved the 4x4. So I've
Hmm.
heard it a few times. It's definitely a faster race, but gosh, you have like a 51-second PR, don't you? That's a pretty fast 400.
I I split 49 once,
Oh, okay.
even
I'm
though
way
some
off.
people said I didn't, but
Well, that's
um
that's cooking.
I split I'm giving myself the benefit of the doubt. I split like 49-9. I'm giving myself a 49.
That's right. You take every millisecond you can get.
Yep.
Well, is there an event that you haven't done that you would have liked to have tried if you'd had the time or the opportunity to?
Uh it's not a standard high school track event, but I feel like steeple would have been fun. Maybe at the end of the year because I feel like with me specifically, I don't know if I feel like going straight into steeple without any like prior knowledge is like, not the smartest thing. But
Uh-huh.
I would have I don't know. I feel like steeple would have been fun. With a water pit too. That would be cool.
Well, that leads
That would
into my
be
next question, which is there an event in collegiate track that you'd like to try that we don't have in high school? And you said the steeplechase. Um, have you given any thought to the 5 or 10K, or is that like
probably
no?
five. I think 5K is gonna be my bread and butter in college. I think I'm gonna be good at the 15. I think I have the speed for it. But I think I'm I think 15 5K is gonna be like really good. Go be really good for the 3K indoor too, I think. I
Hmm.
think that'll be really good. But yeah, I'm excited to see what I can do in a 5K in college. I'm sure I'm going to be running it for sure. Um, so yeah,
Yeah.
I'm excited for that.
Well, as we dive into the next steps in your career collegiately, tell us a little bit about what the recruitment process was like for you, because NCAA D1 recruitment is very specific. It differs from
Hmm.
smaller and private institutions. So maybe tell us, like, how did you get contacted? What were some of the other schools you visited? If you're allowed to talk about that, I don't know. Maybe you
Hmm.
can. Okay, and then how you ultimately decided that MSU was the right fit for you.
Yeah, so I started getting recruited right after sophomore track season. That's when they're really like allowed to recruit. Um, I personally had a lot of attention coming out of junior just because I ran 412 and I it was kind of like out of the blue where some coaches saw. Um, so I got contacted pretty immediately junior. I was talking to a lot of different Division 1 schools. Um, I was talking early on to like I think the first schools that were reaching out were like NAU, Michigan, Michigan State. Um, I think I think Syracuse was a little bit later. Um, but it ended up coming down. I ended up talking to a lot of coaches throughout um my whole junior year, and I ended up narrowing down my schools to these are the 5 places I visited. I visited Syracuse, Wisconsin, Oklahoma State, Michigan State, and Michigan. And all of those schools were great, great coaches, great staff, great teammates. I just personally liked every like Michigan State. I just had a gut feeling about, and I liked the coach. I liked everything was there was no red flags. Um, and it was close to home, and I just had like it felt like kind of like a home feeling to me, and everything. I believe I can reach my potential there. So, and I like how Coach Semino does his training. So I don't know, everything just felt right with that specifically when I was on my visit and everything, and I'm really glad I did too because the I don't know the recruiting class just seems to be getting better and better for Michigan State. I mean, you have now we have 3 guys under 407, and
Right, I saw that.
I've done a little bit of research. I don't think there's I could be wrong here, but I don't think there's any program in the country that has 3 guys under 407 for 1600. I could be wrong, but and if that's the case, that's pretty crazy considering that all 3 of those guys are from Michigan and going to Michigan State. Like
Right.
that's pretty good. That's pretty unique for sure. So
Yeah, and the girls
I
program is
think,
pulling in Rachel Forsyth, so
oh, of course,
and
yeah, and
she's
with the girls,
phenomenal.
yeah, oh, of course, yeah, we're gonna be pretty good boys and girls side. I think. I think even with you got Oregon, Washington, UCLA, and USC joining. I think we're still going to be a force to reckon with for sure. We're going to be pretty good, I think. So it should be, yeah, it should be. I'm really excited for this fall and the upcoming 4 or 5 years. So
Yeah, go green, go white.
go green, go white, go Spartans for
That's
sure.
right. Well, are you interested in anything particular as far as what you want to study academically? I mean, a lot of freshmen don't know, so no pressure. I was just curious if you had any ideas yet.
hmm Yeah, I think right now I'm into for kinesiology. Um, it may change, may not. I think I don't know. Right, I loved my like kind of like I took a human phys class and I loved that in high school. So, and plus, my mom was a PT, so it's I don't know, it's just I enjoyed it, but it could switch to maybe something like more sports medicine related. I'm not sure, but right now, it's kinesiology, and
Okay.
so I'm looking forward to that too.
Yeah, that'd be a great career to work with runners as well, if you ever get that
Yes,
opportunity.
yes, yeah, for sure. I think that's it helps a lot with running too. I feel like
Yeah,
specifically.
yeah, you'd
So,
be able to give a lot of advice.
yeah, I don't know. I feel like the coolest thing to like to like know out of that is to be like, if I have any problem in my body, it could be like, I know exactly what it is. Like, I can just be like, oh, I have to do this or
Yep.
this, like that. That'd be so cool. That'd be you'd have to have a lot of knowledge about that, obviously. But
Yeah. Well,
I
it's
don't know. I
always
thought
great to
that
go
that'd be
to a,
really cool if I could just
yeah,
do that.
it's always great to go to a doctor that's a runner and you're like, oh, they get it. I don't have to
Yeah,
explain everything. That's always great.
yeah.
Let's switch gears a little bit and talk about you personally. And that is, what is one of your best memories or moments so far from all of your years of running?
That's a good one. I don't know. I think qualifying as a team was really special. I especially with the where we were all like all five of like the varsity scorers were all like four of them were freshmen, including myself, and we all just kind of trained together throughout the 4 years. So I think that was really special. I guess we haven't qualified for a state meet at Anchor Bay since like the '70s. So that was really special. Um, individually, I think making it to Footlocker was really special too. Um, I didn't race well at Footlocker, but especially winning the Midwest regional title, that was so special. Um, especially because freshman year, they used to be like when I was like looking into like running, they used to be like the race that I watched and like, dang, like this race is really cool. So I was just like, I wanted to make it there one day, but I mean, obviously, um, very very slim, especially if you're a 20-minute guy, but um I don't know. It was just kind of surreal to have that kind of dream just come true. So, yeah, I mean that was one of like probably my best high school moments individually, but I would say probably qualifying as a team was also really special because I feel like we did something in the program that's never been done before,
Yeah.
in a very long time at least. So, um yeah,
Yeah.
it was great.
Leaving a standard for those that come behind you.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it was a great way to go out as a team for sure.
Yeah. Well, do you have a favorite meet?
I like Shepherd meets, honestly. Shepherd meets are like always so fun. I've been up to Shepherd 3 times to like race, 2 times for cross country and one time for track when I ran the 2 mile my junior year. So those meets are always super fun. Two of the 3 times I've been up to Shepherd, I've broken school records, so maybe a little biased, but um but I always find those meets just really fun. The meets are always super well ran. There's a lot of times just music playing, which is really
Hmm.
cool when you're running. So I like the Shepherd meets a lot. I like the state meets too, but I think everyone likes the state meets. I think as well as Shepherd, but I think honestly probably I like Shepherd a little more. But
Yeah. Well, my former collegiate teammate from Spring Arbor, Rick Cahoon, he is the coach
hmm
at Shepherd. And so every time we go and run there, I'm always amazed by their course and all the amazing
Oh yeah.
technology and how well maintained it is. It's just an amazing facility. So they do a
Hmm.
great job there.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's really probably one of the I would say it's the best course in the state for
Yeah.
sure. I would say
I think
personally.
it got voted that. Didn't the Michigan speed ratings do a
Oh
poll
yeah, like
and then it
the March
won?
Madness bracket. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that was funny.
I think it was between that and what's like the West Side course? I forget the
Portage, I
name.
believe.
Portage.
Portage was
Yes.
a close second. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what are your hobbies and your interests outside of track? So, what do you like to do in your spare time when you are not at school? Well, you're not at school now, you graduated, or
Which is
when
weird,
you're
but
participating in athletics. What do you like to do that's not related to track and field or cross country?
I like biking. I like swimming. I like playing basketball. I've been trying to get more into volleyball and golf. Not very good at either, but I still like to from time to time play soccer. Um, I played for 13 years for some people who don't know. So I like to play soccer a lot too. Um, I mean, those are probably the main things I do. Just especially in the summer, I'm pretty just active when I'm not running.
Hmm.
Um, and I don't know. I like to play video games too a little bit. Um, I've been trying to start my Rainbow Six Siege grind again. I'm not very good, but um, I've been also playing Rocket League a little bit too. I'm champ two, so that's probably one of my biggest accomplishments uh in the video game world.
Besides being a track and field state champ.
Yes, yes, but
Yeah.
yes, but
Well, do you have any collegiate or professional athletes that you like to follow?
um, yeah, for sure. I think I like following just a lot of the Michigan professional I follow the pro scene pretty well, I would say. Um, I like to see what's just going on. I like to follow a lot of the Michigan guys, of course, like Hobbs Kessler, Grant Fisher, Morgan, Bealscombe. I like to see how they're all doing. I always root for them when it comes to big meets. Um, yeah, so I would say probably them specifically the most. Um, but just in general, I like to follow professional track and field a lot. I think it's really interesting for sure. I think it's just crazy how fast they are and crazy how like dedicated they are. So I have a lot of like respect for just professional track athletes.
Yes, I do as well. Um, okay, loaded question. Josh Kerr or Jakob Ingebrigtsen?
Jakob all the way. Jakob.
Okay. All right. Well, I think it's pretty divided in the track and field world. So,
Yeah, I think I don't know. I don't know. Jakob's just cooler, in my opinion. But
hey, you're welcome to your opinion. This podcast is about you, so you can say whatever you'd like.
yeah,
Well,
I think both are great competitors. I like Yared. I like
absolutely.
Yared and Naguse actually more than both, but
Well, they bring a lot of good and new
attention.
attention, which is very needed in the track and field sports scene.
Yeah, I agree.
Just hopefully it stays, it stays clean. I think
Yeah,
the media has
yeah,
spun it to be a little uglier than it probably would have been on its own, but it is quite the drama. So
probably. Yeah.
I find it very fascinating.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure. I got Jakob in Paris though, for sure.
Oh, well, only a couple months and we'll know. We'll see for sure.
Yeah, we'll know. We'll know.
Yep,
We'll
we
know
will.
for sure.
Well, Thomas, it has been incredible speaking with you. And I have one last question before we wrap up our conversation, and that is, if you could go for a run anywhere in the world, where would you choose to go and who would you go with?
Ooh, I don't know who I would go with, but I know probably where I would run. Um, I'd probably run somewhere. This is really random, but I feel like I'd run in like Tokyo. Like Tokyo seems like such a cool like city. So to just like run in there and kind of like explore the city. If I could spend like a month in there and kind of just like explore Tokyo while running, that'd be really cool. I don't know who I would bring with me. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who I'd bring with me, but I would probably choose Tokyo. It's kind of random, but I don't
Hmm.
know. I feel like that's such a cool city. So,
Yeah, it's interesting. There'd be a lot to look at as you were running.
hmm
We wouldn't get bored.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, huge city. So I'd have a lot of places to explore for sure.
Yeah, Definitely. Well, Thomas, I really appreciate you taking time out of your day. I know your spring has been incredibly busy and you've graduated and you're looking towards a new beginning at MSU. And I'm sure that we are going to hear and see great things from you yet to come. So once again, thank you so much. And I wish you all the best.
Yeah, that for sure. Thank you for inviting me.
Until next time, I'll leave you with this quote by Jakob Ingebrigtsen, a Norwegian middle and long distance runner. At age 16, Ingebrigtsen became the youngest man in history to run a mile in less than 4 minutes. He also is the current world record holder for the indoor 1,500 meters and holds the world's best time in the 2 mile. Ingebrigtsen is a 2-time world champion, winning gold medals in the 5,000 meters in 2022 and 2023. He also won a gold medal in the 1,500 meters at the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, setting an Olympic and European record. He is one of only 3 men to run a sub 3:30 1,500, a sub 7:30 3,000, and a sub 12:50 5,000 meters. If some people can do something, I believe I can do it better. That's just my way of thinking and my way of staying motivated. But it's like in every aspect of life, there's a lot of roads to take to become a good runner or even good at anything. It's a lot of practice and consistency. That's the most important thing. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in to today's Blue Water Running Podcast. I can't wait to feature more cross-country and track and field athletes from the Blue Water area, so stay tuned because it just might be you. If you enjoyed today's podcast, please share, subscribe, and leave us a review. You can find the Blue Water Running Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and other major media players. You can also ask your Alexa to play the Blue Water Running Podcast. If you have an idea for a great topic or guest that you would like to hear about, feel free to contact me through the website links or show notes. You can follow Blue Water Running on Instagram, X, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. You can also find meet and athlete reports and articles at www.bluewaterrunning.org.